Hi, my name's Joseph. Welcome to the Eclectic Philatelist, episode number 9. Recently, I was thinking about starting another topical collection, and one that's related to some of my other collecting hobbies. If you've watched some of my other videos, you know that quite often I collect other items other than stamps. And I try and combine my collecting interests together. For example, I did a video on kendama, a Japanese skill toy on stamps. Well, I collect kendama and I also collect stamps and postal items that depict kendama. Well, for this new collection, I thought I would start a topical collection that was related to one of my other hobbies, one of my other collections that I really enjoy and I've been doing for quite a long time. And that has to do with the collection of Swiss Army knives. Now, Swiss Army knives are one of the more well-known items out of Switzerland that Switzerland is known for, besides chocolate and William Tell, perhaps. And Swiss Army knives have over 400 models that are available, and they have quite a history going back to the founding of the company and how the original knife with multiple tools kind of expanded into a full line of small, medium, and large size items. Carl Eisner first opened his cutler's workshop in Switzerland in 1884. His mother, who was named Victoria, did support him and encourage him to expand the company and succeed with that idea of making high-quality multi-bladed knives. Well, in 1897 is when he first patented the original Swiss officer and sports knife. And since that date, around the world, his knives became known as the Swiss Army knives. Now, the parent company's name is Victorinox. And that comes about from a combination of his mother's name, Victoria, and a special type of steel, stainless steel, that Swiss Army knives use that's called inox. So combining Victoria and inox, you get Victorinox, which is the name of the company. Now, they started manufacturing many more knives and many more models of knives, and they got popular as souvenirs, including in 1945, after World War II, U.S. soldiers who were stationed in Europe started to buy large quantities of Swiss Army knives as souvenirs. And the company did keep expanding, and they got to be quite famous around the world. The original Swiss Army knife even became an exhibit at the Museum of Modern Art as an example of design excellence. Even other parts of the world started to get stores, Victorinox stores that sold their products, which were very popular around the world. In 1978, it's kind of interesting because in 1978, Victorinox received a large order of their Master Craftsman model knives from NASA to be given to their astronauts to use on some of their missions. Well, eventually, Victorinox did expand and, like many companies, added products to their line to increase their sales. And now they do have lines of things like watches, high-end luxury watches, high-end luggage, and items like that as well. Now, the company is still going strong. It's a family business. It's been handed down. For example, in 2011, Carl Eisner III was running the company in Switzerland, and Carl Eisner III in that year, in 2011, actually was inducted into the Blade magazine's Cutlery Hall of Fame. So they've got quite an important history and background there. 2017 is actually the year that they produced their 500 millionth original Swiss Army knife model. So I started my search for stamps that depict Swiss Army knives, and of course the logical conclusion was to look at stamps from Switzerland. And so far I haven't found very many, so this may very well end up being a micro-topical collection, which is sort of my term for a topical collection that has very few stamps. But there are some interesting ones out there that are, I think, very collectible and are very well done. For example, the first stamp, I'll put a picture up on the screen here, and this is from 2006. And this depicts one of the very early models of the Swiss Army officers' knives. Now, this was a commemorative stamp issued in Switzerland to honor the Victorinox company. And these original Swiss Army knives are highly collectible. There are a few variations depending upon the tools that are displayed, but the stamps are readily available. And I also have one that still was part of a booklet and has the tab on it with a little bit more information. And as you can see here from that photo, that's also a very nice collectible for this topical collection. Now, in that same format, also in 2006, they have a stamp from Switzerland again, showing a slightly modern version of one of the Swiss Army knives. And again, I managed to find a stamp from a booklet that also has the tabs on it that shows a little bit more information. And so all four of these stamps are the main part, you might say, of my collection. Now, I continued to search a little bit more, and for a while couldn't find anything until a couple of weeks ago. And a couple of weeks ago, I found a commemorative Swiss stamp from 2008. And this shows the postmark's a little bit heavy here, but in the background you could see in a circle a number of different tool blade types that Swiss Army knives use. And this stamp was done as a series of what Switzerland called "What Foreign Artists Think of Switzerland." So in this particular one, the artists that created this design, when Switzerland was mentioned, they thought of the Swiss Army knife. So these are the stamps that I have right now for the collection. And I think what I'm going to do is put these stamps into a frame and put them next to my collection of Swiss Army knives. And currently I have a case that mounts on the wall where I have most of my Swiss Army knives stored, and not all of them, but the majority of them. And I think that's going to be a nice way to display them. So Switzerland, very well known for a lot of things, but one of the primary things that comes to mind when I think of Switzerland is the Swiss Army knife. I also collect the knives, and so this collection of stamps, although it is small at the moment and may remain small, I think I found about all of the stamps that depict the knives themselves, will be an important part of my collection. And so I hope you liked this episode. I hope you learned a little bit about Swiss Army knives and the company Victorinox and their history. If you did like it, please give this video a like. Please subscribe to the channel. That's very important. Stay tuned to the next video. Not sure yet what the topic will be, but I think it might be a quite interesting one, and we may be venturing back into Europe and the area of Switzerland. So, the country of Switzerland. So, stay tuned for that. Again, thanks for watching, and happy collecting.